Hello!
I'm the storyteller, and my stories must be told.
Well, here we are, sweating like a... halfway through. There's the guy just going now. Oh yeah, they got roadworks. Vans in the way, lorries in the way. And all this stuff is all here now. I could be some time. Hey ho.
Saz, are we confident it's the right colour?
We got 64, kind of mid-grey, dark to mid-grey, and we got 7 of them bad boys, which are a bit lighter, not too light, just a bit, and then we got 11 of the nosings that are the same colour as the main deck. Well, if that's right, that's what we got. If that's wrong, I don't give a...
Good morning then. Here we are back at the garden room and the day has finally come. This beautiful sunshine. Decking's here. There it is. If you'd have already seen the footage before, Mick was blowing a little bit coming up and down this garden. 17,000 steps, Mick.
16,780.
So, I don't know if you caught that. 16,780 steps from the front, but he was counting, from the front, where he had to take it off the wagon, onto the drive and then up the garden. So there we go. It'll look nice once it's done, and it will have forgotten the 17,000 steps and the half a stone of weight loss and everything else. So here we are. What we're going to do first, these crosses you can see on there, they are temporary for now. We've just been setting the lights out. We've got these little decking lights. You just drill a 20mm hole and they just push into the hole. They've got a male and female connector on the back of it. You push the wire into the hole first, connect it either way like a daisy chain, push the hole in. So what we'll do first is we'll set these lights out all around the decking, and so that we know where they are. Then when we put the decking boards on them, we can drill the 20mm hole and then pass the cables through, just so we can set out, and then we can get all the main cable off that from there, and we just clip it all, drill it through the joists a little bit, or clip it to on the side actually. We don't want it sagging on the floor, stop rodents chewing it. And then we'll put, when we're ready, we'll just drop the LED bulb in, or the light in, and connect them from underneath. So that's what we're going to do now, bit of setting out, and then once we've done that, we've then got to start setting all the nosings and things out first. Rubbish day yesterday. One of those days where all you have to do is talk and discuss and see what's best. So all we really managed to do yesterday is set out everything, set it where all the lights are going. As you can see, we've drilled all the holes now. Knackered a couple of drill bits in the process, drilling into nails that you can't see until the last minute. This is where the corners are going now. One issue we've had, hence we couldn't do the steps properly, was we had the 2 types of boards, which I showed you yesterday, and unfortunately, we all agreed that there wasn't enough contrast in the boards between the riser and the tread, which is what the customer wanted. And like I just said, we all agreed it wasn't good enough, so we can't put them on yet. So of course it causes a bit of problems when we start setting it, because they should have gone on first, drill the holes to the spotlights, then we carry on. So anyway, we've got to come up with a plan for that. With this cluster light positions many times. So yeah, these are sort of where they were, in essence, where I marked them out, but we have had to change a couple. We've had to go through different ways of doing the side ones. We're not doing them here now, I don't think. because they sort of sit in a place where we don't really want them. We tried to get them in the centre of the board, but the centre of the board means it's centre of that upright, and you don't want to put it in there because the water's sit in the bottom of the hole. So yes, one of those days. Hence I didn't film much. We've also cut the back of the boards down for here, for the 3 board tread. Reason being is these are 147. When we originally looked at the sample was 140. Don't I need to say any more? So I've done all the setting out based on a 140 board with a 3mm gap, and already 7mm bigger per board. So there we go. I'd allowed a bit more on these anyway for movement, so hence we've only got to cut 10mm off one board. So yes, one of those days. We'd like to think we've ironed out all the problems now. We've got to put a board catcher in there because we come up with a better idea of doing this. That looks nicer there now. A return there, because when we get up here, we're going to have to cover this bit of edge. So we're going to use this one, bit of nosing we've got left over off the runs, cut that down and put it in there, mitre that. So there we go. That's where we are. It pays to set stuff out and do it properly, which is what yesterday was. We all agreed yesterday it was a bit of a wasted day. Well, I say wasted day, we didn't get much decking done, but it's a day that you've got to discuss, you've got to set out these things, because these boards are too expensive not to. So what we're doing now, we know how far over that nosing's got to come hanging over the step now to get the tread in with a 3mm gap, to get the riser in, which is 25mm with a 3mm gap, so 28mm. But even though we know we've put that in to a line, we are going to pull a string line again now and then dip measure it to make sure that the 86mm that we require. I didn't say that. You can't say that on the channel. You can't say dick on the channel. So 86mm we require from the back of the board at that end and at this end. And what we'll do then is we'll dip with a P measure to the line to make sure that we are 86 or less. If we are over, if we're 90, then we're going to have to pull the whole lot this way because we don't want to be tight with the nosing, which, if you look at that, we've got to make sure that there's a 3mm gap away from there. Hence we know 86mm from there to there, plus the 25 for this riser and a 3mm gap. So that's what we're going to do now. In the continuation of the doing the decking arse about face, right, we've got this one on set now, and we're not going to do now is we're going to get the lights in a sort of order where we know we can get to these bottom lights, because at the minute if we fill the steps in we can't. The cable comes out of there now, the transformers are inside that wall, so we're getting this little cable now. If you can just about see that cable there, look, that big ball of snot that Mick's holding there.
Is it Griswold's Christmas?
Yeah. So we're going to run that, clip it to all the joists now, because we don't want it on the floor because rodents will eat it. In fact, they did mine, that's how I know. So pull all this across here, get to this point, and we're not going to put these 3 lights in yet because they might put a sofa there. But what we are going to do is, because these connect with the male and female connector, all rubber sealed and screwed together, we'll bring the main cable to here. So if in the future they want these 3 lights here, because we're going to have 4 spare anyway, we can unclip it by getting under there, that void, put the 3 lights in, daisy chain into here, and attach it back onto the light that's going to be for one of the decking lights. So it's easy. So that's what we're going to do now. Once these are all set, we're then going to move on to fixing the nosing onto this one and laying the boards out all cut to length ready, but laying them out dry so we can pick these up then and put the risers on. We wouldn't have enough room to get it in up underneath the nosing, so we're going to have to leave them now. But we can put a few screws in the nosings, get it all set ready, and then we'll do it after. That's what we're doing now. So we've got all of our steps done now. They're all done. The only thing we have done is we've left this one loose, the boards, so we can get underneath it to get these lights in, because you see this already put all the cable through to there, to our first light, which is going to be there. And then what we've got now, we've got an end there now to attach then the old daisy chain from that one. So that's set now. We've just had a bit of a nightmare with these. We had to put all board catches in the middle of where all the joins are, because we had to work it out to make sure it all look nice. And we've just set this this first one on the ramp. So put that one on there, and then mitered that in there. That looks nice and tidy. It will move with the with that heat and the cold, but there's not much I can do about that. What I didn't want to do, again, same as these miters, is leave a gap like it's supposed to, like that. I think they look a bit nasty on the miters, so if the miters open up a little bit, then that's fine, but they're not going to move that much. It's only a small length of timber and the miters there anyway, so I'm happy with that. We started fixing that one on there, so tomorrow what we're going to do, we'll fix this one in, because it's got to be cut around this lot, cut all around there, and then we can miter. There's a board coming across there then, across here, which will follow on, and that we don't know where it's going to sit yet, where that line, sorry, is going to work out when we come off the back of our nosing piece. So it may be that top board there on the top of the ramp will be half a board, because as you can see there, you have to set it, that's the edge of the ramp, but because the mitre, the thickness of this board's got to come up so it meets at the top, so it's not necessarily there. We've had to come over a little bit, so we'll have to see what our first board works out in the morning. So moving down to the main deck boards, we're going to leave this this bit of nose in there, because we need to work out from that end now all the way to this end where this board, as I explained already, where this board is going to come in relation to these boards set out from the nosing now that way. So we'll carry on with that, and then I'll show you where we are and what we do when we get to this point. Okay, we've got to this point now where the next length is going to be. Mick's just putting the double joist in for the joint there, just doubling these up. So what you do, you just stopping talking about. So you put your join then goes in the middle, and you put a board either side. Then that's what you have to do. I have seen people put these apart, but because we didn't know what we're having, in fact, when we started the structure, we weren't having composite decking, so we would have, in hindsight, 3.6, we would have set these out a double joist, knowing where they were going to be 100mm apart, so we weren't right on the edge of the board. But it is what it is. There's a few things changed for the best on this job, so we just have to work with what we got. So that's what Mick's doing there. Right, back on what I was just talking about. So what I'm going to have to work out now is, I've sort of lined this board up with this one to try and show you if I can. If I line that one up there like that, so you can sort of see now, and luckily we're actually quite level. So so that board now, if you look at that, is quite parallel. But so we've got to get this board, put that board in this length, make sure it goes in parallel. So what I'm going to do now is, I've marked 100mm that end as a reference mark off the board, and I mark 100mm that end at this end, sorry, off the board, and then put a string line or a chalk line all the way through, so I can measure back then to make sure this stays in line, this whole board, to match that mitre there. So we'll see how we go with that. So we've been really lucky on this occasion. Managed to get that in there. Now that's not fixed yet. I've got to fix that. But all we're going to do now, I'll find my sample, my cuties. There's my whacker. So what we've got now is we've worked out that finishes like that, and that is just, I want to say we meant it, but that is just sheer fluke on our account. Because we meant it, yeah, you did. So we set the nose in. These are all set to gaps. That board run through, and that's what we've ended up with. It couldn't be any better if we tried. I think there's a slight discrepancy this side way. It's a little bit higher. But, oh man, we're talking minimal. Absolutely minimal. So that is perfect. So all we'll do now is, I'll screw that nose in because I've already cut the bottom off it so it sits tight. This deck board will go in, that's an offcut, I know that's cut. That'll go in like that now. And then when it comes, then go down there, and then eventually what we'll do is we'll start cutting under there, and then we'll start cutting under there, and then there's going to be a bit of riser going there when it turns up. Because if you've been paying attention, we've had a bit of a riser issue. We've ordered some more now, and there's some more coming. They're lighter, which I think the sample is, here it is. That's what we're waiting for now. You can just see the difference in the two. So the customer's having that on there now, like that. So waiting for them to turn up, hence not being out of the lights. So all we'll do, we'll cut these now. We'll start working down this way, start from the top, because we want to make sure that end's nice. We don't have any cut at the top. If there is going to be a cut, which there won't be now actually, we can run that into the ground down the bottom. We've doubled up that, trebled in fact, that joist there, because where our cuts worked again, which is nice, is we've got a cut there, finishes about there, full board to there, and then the off cut off that board is then going in there. Excuse me, burped and everything then whilst talking. That's a bit rude, isn't it? Pig. What? Oh, I'm a pig. My apologies. So we'll cut that into there, and we'll just carry on. We've already double noggined this, as I've already said. These were double noggined. Mixed already put them in, over there and over there. So there we go. We're after all the talking and shouting and screaming and being upset with it all, it's all turning up all right now. But you got to set out first. I think the worst mistake you can make with doing composite decking, or any decking really, but this one especially because it's a bit more expensive, is not having the chats and the talk about how things are going to work. Still not 100% happy with that, really. I may change that again, but we'll see. So we've been with the decking for now. For those of you that have already watched the previous episodes of this, thank you first of all. But you will know that we haven't got the risers yet. We're still waiting for those. As is everything, waiting. Still waiting for doors. Still waiting for windows. Harborne's fitted though, which is where I'm going now. So this is all done. Mick and Mark did a great job the other day and finished this off. Myself and Adam weren't here. All I've done is, because I've got my saw here, I'd just cut that last board into there just to finish the edge off. And that last board, pretty much, that one will be sort of half buried, if you like, with the landscaping, which is what the customer wants. So this all worked out quite nice in the end, around these little ramp and step junction there, worked out quite nice. Well, I think so anyway, surely I'm biased, obviously. I've just been and done all the grouting in the bathroom. I haven't filmed it because it's pretty boring, isn't it? I'll bore myself just thinking about it, let alone filming it for someone else to watch me do. So you'll have a shot of that when the plumber comes, which is, I think it's some point this week. So we'll leave you with that for now. Don't forget to hit that like button and the notification bell ready for the next episode. Thanks for watching as always.